Hello, and welcome to the 29th episode of Recluse Horror. This is a daily horror movie review podcast. With me again today is Sam.
Hey.
So just a little background on the project. Back in April of last year, I decided I wanted to watch and review a horror movie every single day. I have done so for the past 296 days, although only the last 29 have been podcasts. Before that, it was text reviews. So each episode, I talk about two movies, one which I have watched that very night, and another that I reviewed previously in text, and I just go over whatever impressions I have left, aided, of course, by the text review. So before I get into the movie that we reviewed today, I wanted to address, I had a Twitter message from, not a direct message, a retweet and a comment from, or a reply, I don't know, this account, this one that I have for this show, is the only Twitter account I've ever had, so I'm not totally fully aware of the language yet, but anyway, the director for Don't Move, today he retweeted my review, and he sent me a correction, which I verified. Don't Move was the one about the creature summoned by the Ouija board. Sam, I know you remember it.
I think it's not Ouija board.
Ouija board. Yeah. But actually, and one of the things that I griped about is that it's just like a regular sort of Ouija board, like a regular cardboard one is what I thought. And he said, no, that was a real Ouija board that was like hand carved and everything, and I went back and it's totally hand carved. In fact, it doesn't even say Ouija on it. So technically it is one of the talking boards that I was talking about, and they did spend the time to carve like their own thing. It's set up just like a regular Ouija board, is why I didn't give it. Again, my personal prejudice against Ouija boards kind of clouded my vision there. So anyway, I just wanted to apologize for that. And on my Instagram, I'll have like a video of it so that you can kind of see the board. Do you remember that cup thing? I didn't want to talk about it before on the other review.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the spinning cup.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing in the whole thing. And you can hear it throughout the whole... That's one of the things I was talking about with how I liked the sound design in that one, was that you can hear that cup through the whole thing. It's really cool. But yeah, anyway, if you want to go to my Instagram account, which is of course just Recluse Horror, I will have an Instagram video up after the podcast of that particular scene that shows the board and the hand carving, which is actually, it's not carving. Skylar does it. What the like burning, like wood burning?
I don't know if it's etched or burnt or how it's made.
Well, it looks really cool actually. The design on the side is really neat. But yeah, it is a talking board. It's just set up so much like a Ouija board that I didn't see the difference because I'm stupid. And yeah, it was also like I had worked in the whole day for like until 2 a.m. again, I think last time. So the movie and the other thing that he said in the tweet is that the band that we were talking about, we were talking about how in so many movies they have that sort of thing where somebody will accidentally turn on like a really loud song or something like that. That is apparently the director, Anthony Melton, it's his band from 2000. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I looked up the name, but now I can't remember.
You can't remember what the band name is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Jump in.
Since that you're not in that band.
Yeah.
If you're ever looking for another annoying band, I'm in several. City of Dis, 666, Bandcamp. We got plenty of annoying tracks.
So many annoying tracks. In fact, they have a curated show
of annoying tracks
where his entire distro worth of bands will be playing.
A selection of annoying
bands.
Okay,
that's true. A selection of them.
And I want to update my review with the new information.
Yeah.
Is that I like the movie the short film a little tiny bit less now that I know it's not just a generic Ouija board.
Why?
I feel like it's a real missed opportunity. Get some Ouija boards, get Hasbro on board. This is what we call synergy.
Synergy.
Really?
Are you trying to get another cross promotion up here, or like another sponsored ad, like you tried to shove into that other episode?
In any way that I could get any money from talking to the 4 people who listen to this podcast, yes, I am trying to get to happen.
Yeah, well, you know, with a listenership of 4, I don't think there's very many people who are going to be sponsoring us. Sam,
you say that now.
And anyway, you know it is my podcast, right? So we're gonna have to negotiate terms if you're gonna be like unilaterally making the decision that we're being sponsored now. Yeah.
Well, they're sponsoring me. Brought to you by Carl Jr. Yeah.
So yeah. Sam has a bunch of
terrible bands.
Terrible punk bands, punk adjacent.
Noise bands.
You got a couple of noise bands, some
hardcore punk bands.
Some
I'm in a
like power violence.
I'm in a noisy synth band.
Yeah, I love that. Dirt Grubs are the greatest.
Yeah,
I love the Dirt Grubs.
I'm a big fan of annoying music.
Yeah,
it's my jam.
Okay, so moving on from that, in his comment, he also suggested that I do watch the Birch, which is the one from Crypt TV that I've been avoiding because I didn't want to do only Crypt TV stuff. But this is one that he did, Anthony Melton did with Crypt TV, or I think maybe before Crypt TV. I'm still not certain about that. It doesn't matter though. That I just, every time I pass it, it made me want to watch it. So it's the Birch from 2016. Sam, how did you like the Birch from 2016?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think personally, with all of the short films, I've probably done like maybe 20 or so short films. This one is not my favorite, but it is probably I would say it's 4. It's number 4 out of the 30. And really, the only reason why the other ones are on top, maybe we should do those all today. I don't know. My favorite ones are the Jester and the Jester Part 2. I watched those on a really, really crappy day, and it really turned around my day. And then the other one is Vicious, and the only reason why I liked that one more is I have a particular fear, which I have not gotten into. You know what, we'll do... You didn't see Vicious, I can't do that one with you. Dang it. But I have a particular fear that is completely exploited by Vicious, and it freaked me out. It legitimately freaked me out. So... that doesn't happen to me very often. This one did not freak me out, but it was awesome. What did you think of the Birch, of the creature?
The creature is awesome.
Yeah. I thought it was
great. That's obviously the highlight of the short film.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
You know, it's the lead up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean by highlight.
Yeah.
It essentially just highlights the creature's existence, and like it's super cool looking.
See, I felt like it is. It's super cool looking. Do you see why? That's the like cover photo. Every time I would pass that, I'd be like, I want to see that. I want to see that. But I think the real distinction. I always, whenever I do stuff by, the same creators, I always try to compare and contrast them. And like pretty much any gripe that I had with Don't Move is like the complete opposite of what happened here, sort of, in a way. So I didn't like the Ouija thing. I'm never gonna like the Ouija thing. But again, it's not technically a Ouija board, so I was just an asshole. But in this doesn't use some standard BS whatever. It creates its own lore. It's something I haven't seen. There's no goddamn pentagrams or anything lying around. There's no upside down crucifixes. It's its own thing, and it's really neat. And it's sort of a little bit, one could argue, cultural as well.
Yeah, right.
Because it takes place... actually, I don't know if they say if it takes place. I believe those were British, not Irish or Scottish accents. I know the difference, but I actually can't remember because I wasn't paying attention to that specific factor. But anyway, it's the same. It's that area of the world has a lot of, like druidic tendencies and so forth. So it's really neat in that capacity too. What did you think about the location that they filmed?
Oh, it was really nice.
I thought it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was shot really well.
Mm-hmm. And they use, another thing, and I hate this happens in even Hollywood films sometimes. They do slow motion, and they didn't, in a couple of places, they use slow motion in this, and they don't do the thing where they film at the normal frames per second and then slow it down and it looks all choppy and stupid.
Oh, right.
They did the real thing that you're supposed to, and film, at least it looked like they did, and filmed at the right speed and then slowed it down so that it looked right. I don't know why, but I haven't seen a movie that has done that right. I feel like in, 100 days or something like that, which doesn't sound like a lot to other people, but I've watched 100 movies in 100 days, so. Yeah, the location was really good. I loved, there's this, we have not even talked about what this is about. Yeah. We're really far into this to not have talked about what this is about.
We'll talk about it.
So in the movie, there's a schoolboy, who's being bullied, who decides to, exact revenge on his bully through methods that we won't talk about because it's spoilers, because everything in a 5-minute movie is spoilers.
Pretty much.
It's under 5 minutes. Yeah. So that's what it's about. I mean, I guess you don't really need a synopsis for a 5-minute movie, but I always try to, Yeah, I thought the creature looked awesome. And Cliff Wallace, the same one that we were talking about who did the demon in the last movie,
And Don't Move.
Yeah, and Don't Move. He has a story by credit or something like that on this. And he also did some sort of makeup for this as well. I don't want to talk too directly about the creature, but this one is definitely better, I thought. Did you think this was better than the other one? And I liked that one a lot.
From memory, I would say yeah, but they also kind of appeal to different just different opinions. They're both really well done. This one's a little more unique.
Yeah.
In its design.
Yeah.
The idea of its whole design.
Yeah.
Than the other one, but the other one still was really good. So.
Right. The it's definitely more unique, and it seems like, and this is just going off of memory again, but it seems like it moves a lot more. It's able to do more natural motions. Let's say.
Fucked up.
Which is fucked up.
Have you seen it?
Because it should be very hard to get something that looks like this to move right, and they did. Yeah. Yeah, Sam's showing me a picture of it again.
That'd be fucked.
It's true. But yeah, no, this hits all of the notes that I really enjoy in a well-told horror story, which is basically it has its own lore. It doesn't borrow. Well, I mean, you can borrow from stuff, and that's fine. But it doesn't, straight up steal from other things. It's not super tropey. I mean, the bully thing, of course, but I mean, bullies really exist in real life. Usually, they're bullying you on the internet, but whatever. It uses symbols and stuff like that, and I like that. But it makes its own. It doesn't use, again, pentagrams or upside down crosses or whatever it is, and it gives you enough to feel like, you're getting, again, that best part of a story, but it still leaves you wanting more. I absolutely would love to see a sequel to this. What about you?
Yeah, sure.
The way that it ended specifically.
Yeah, specifically the way it ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a trailer or like a lead up to something that would be very nice to have. It's somewhat of a extension. More like a prequel, one of those like prequel videos sometimes they put out for big Hollywood movies when they're trying to like a. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm kind of like a mini, but better than those because those are usually really bad. They usually are, yeah. Like the ones from Alien Covenant, those are really funny and bad. I didn't see the Alien Covenant ones. The Prometheus ones I heard about, but I didn't see. Oh no, those are the ones I'm talking about. That's the one. Okay, yeah. I love Prometheus, but those were really dumb. But this feels like a good version of that. Yeah, like leading you into a story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it Granted, does. There is no more story as far as I know. No, as far as I know. But there really should be. Yeah. Yeah. It again, it tells you it's the same thing with Don't Move, where it's the best part of the horror movie all condensed into one part, but
In this one, I was way more excited. Like, the last one, Don't Move...
It is like a conclusion.
Yes.
To a horror movie. This is like
the beginning.
Yeah.
But in a way that doesn't feel like, a lot of those, sometimes you'll see those where they feel like the beginning of the story and they don't, like the one I did on BEK. Did you watch that with me? Black Eyed Kids or Black Eyed Children?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It wasn't good. It was another short film. But, it felt like they put part of a movie together and slapped it together and was like, it almost looked like a demo reel or something you might send to a production company being like, here, fund this whole movie. This is what we have. This is what we are able to work with. But it didn't actually tell an interesting story. This one tells an interesting story that is encapsulated enough to be satisfying on its own, but it still makes you want more. It is its own thing. It just does, what it wants to do. I think it seems like the creators, that's what they were going for, was something that really hooked you, but doesn't feel like you're just trying to attract perspective, like, production companies to pick up a larger work. It doesn't feel like they're only doing it for themselves or their demo reels or whatever it is that they need. Was there anything particularly negative? Was there anything you didn't like about it?
Nothing I didn't like about it. Like, just maybe, the creature had more potential than it was utilized in. And that's less of a problem with the short film and more like...
That's so much work.
Yeah, there's so much...
The same thing that I was saying about Don't Move.
Yeah, the creature in other scenarios than the one it shows up in this.
Yeah.
Would be pretty amazing.
It would be.
And that's really my own problem. Like, it's it's 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It hits all the right spots for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, and the only thing, before I go back to that, the only thing that I found was that there was some pretty shaky camera work in some places that didn't seem like it was totally intentional. It could have been, but it just felt like they were just walking along, and for some reason it was a little shaky. That's a very small criticism, but I mean, I really did enjoy this one. This is the kind of stuff I really like. I'm into I'm into like dumb Celtic stuff.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Anything like that. So this really appeals to that. You know how much I like lore and all of that.
Right.
So this is one that is specifically tailored to my particular tastes. I still think people, even if you're not into, if you're not into that sort of thing, if you're not into necessarily lore building or like world building or anything like that, I still think it's worth watching. Again, it's 5 minutes, it's free, it's on the internet, it's less than 5 minutes. Which to me, like, really lowers the bar on that. Do you think this would be better to make a full-length movie out of, or to make a series of these shorts out of? Yeah.
Probably either.
Yeah.
Probably the shorts would probably be better for the material. And, but a movie would be good. I don't know, either way.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't think it would really not work as a whole movie.
Yeah, that's what I
just think it would be better or easier, maybe, or lends itself to.
See, I feel like depending on how you did a feature length, it might be better. The only thing for me particularly is with the short film length, you may not get the sort of character building that I was hoping from the end of that, from the way the movie ends. So a feature length in that capacity would work better for me personally, because I really liked, I actually got to that point like 35 seconds before the end or something where I was like, oh, I hope they do this thing. And then they did it.
Right.
So, yeah, I won't say what it is, but Sam, do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and that really, like, it was just a small, tiny little thing, but I was, like, screaming in my head that I wanted it to happen, so.
Can I come in with my thoughts?
Yes.
I don't know how spoiler this is, so you might have to cut it out.
Okay.
But,
unfortunately, I do think I have to cut that.
All my best lines.
I know.
I'm not doing this with you anymore.
Samuel!
I'm too censored. I can't do it. I gotta be raw.
All right,
I had to cut it.
But I agree with what you said. It has to do with the same thing, that last final moment of the movie that they show that I really, really was hoping for. Apparently Sam was also hoping for it, and then they did it.
No, so. I'm really hoping for it. You know what I mean?
So anyway, yeah, this was for me. This was, again, it felt like it was completely catered to my tastes.
It's all what more can you ask for, like a 4-minute movie?
Yeah.
I read some reviews on
IMDb,
and like most of them are like didn't like it, too short.
Oh, God.
or like it was pretty good except for it was too short.
Oh my God.
And it's like
you're an idiot.
It is what it is. It's
a short film.
Yeah, it's short. What do you want for it? Like, how is that a criticism? How's that ranking it down for the length? Like, it's good or it's not good. It's not determined on the length, whether it's good or not.
This is the problem that I have with, like, all of those people. It's like the same people who have the criticisms of, like, black and white films or foreign films or
too foreign, too black and white. Don't like it.
Exactly. Like, that is so inane and just so stupid to me. A short film is a short film. It's its own thing. It's not supposed to be a feature-length movie. It's also not supposed to be a trailer for another movie so that you're, trying to, again, get a production company to back you to make a full-length movie.
Right.
No. It has to be self-contained, and yes, it can be a teaser, and yes, it can be something that, like, you want to see more out of. And in fact, in a lot of cases, it should be something like that. But it is a short film.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, it is what 4 minutes.
To be. Yeah.
Your complaint for it can't be like, there's only 4 minutes, it's too short.
Yeah. Yeah. Your complaint, that is not a valid complaint for a short film.
It's like when you watched it, you had to see how short it was.
Right, yeah. You saw when you went on YouTube and, like, typed it in and saw whatever, then you saw it said 4:36 or whatever it was. You chose to watch that 4:36 movie.
It's a very weird complaint, but it's very prevalent.
It's the exact complaint that I have, that it's too short because I want more of it. But they're treating it as a negative instead of a positive.
Something you want more of it.
Exactly. So, I don't know. That's stupid. That always bugs me. It's the same. It's black and white. I don't know. It makes me bored and blah, blah, blah. Well, then you're stupid. Okay. Was there anything else? We talked about Cliff Wallace. He's involved with this project. He did story and makeup for this. I did that already. Anthony Melton directed this. It was great. I mean, the everything about it, like the cinematography, the lighting, everything about it, I felt like was an improvement over Don't Move. Not that wasn't great. We liked it, but it had certain problems. And again, it's funny because talking about how this one appeals to exactly what I want, that one caters to exactly what I don't like, which is Ouija and dumb people and whatever. Nobody in this did anything dumb except for be a bully. So, I don't know. Yeah, was there anything else?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I don't know if he would be listening to this, but if you are listening to this, Anthony Melton, thank you. And I really, really appreciated this. Like I said, I think it's my 4th favorite short film that I've watched for this project. And that might hold true to, like, actual short films that I've seen. So, so that was our review of The Birch from 2016. Okay, so the second movie, and technically second and third movie that we're going to talk about, we decided we are going to do 2 of the short films, at least, that I was saying I probably prefer to this one. And really, it's like personal taste issues is what it comes down to with this. But we're going to talk about The Jester, Chapters 1 and 2, which are the ones that Sam saw with me. Sam... these are from 2016 and 2017, by the way. Sam, how did you like The Jester, Chapters 1 and 2?
I like The Jester.
The Gesture?
Gesture.
The Gesture?
Yeah, The Gesture. The Gesture 1 and 2.
Uh-huh.
I definitely did not like them as much as you did.
Yeah, I know.
And it's, it's for me, just, as good as any, short film. Like, like, they... like it does what it needs to do in the amount of time it has. Yeah. And, if it does that, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I thought they were both put together pretty well.
Okay. So this, I may have some like real emotional attachment to these ones. Just this happened to me. It was an incredibly long week of stress, depression, anxiety, and I was looking for something that, to try to take my mind off of everything that had been happening. It was a work-related situation, I can say now. And it culminated in me actually quitting my job and getting another job, which I'm starting like in 2 weeks or so. But my job that I've been at for 10 years. So this is like an emotionally very stressful situation for me. So I went on Netflix. I was trying to look for something like stupid and bloody, like a Japanese gore film or something. But I've seen pretty much all of that stuff that you can find on Netflix.
Which isn't a lot.
Which isn't a lot, honestly. They need a better selection of Japanese gore movies. We should call Netflix and tell them that.
Will do.
But they do take like suggestions or whatever. But anyway, so instead, when I couldn't find anything, that really fit what I was looking for, I decided to just go to YouTube and look for a short film. And I stumbled across this one, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this one will raise my spirits or whatever. And it did exactly that. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was short, and I was so impressed with the first one. I was only planning on watching the first one, but I was so impressed with the first one that I ended up watching the second one, like, right afterwards. And then, after that, I went and got Sam and told him he had to watch that movie, and I watched it with him, like, right after, like, directly after I had just watched it, and made him watch, I think, both of them. Did I make you watch both parts?
I believe so. You're saying yeah.
Okay. I think you did.
I think I did too, and that's my problem with them.
Is it you watched them back to back, or?
That I don't distinguish them.
Okay. But anyway, so again, this may be like, when you hear a song the first time, like you kiss your husband before you married him or something, like I might have that level of emotional connection to this movie. But I also really love, like, jesters and capering and stuff like that. So this is really a good movie for that. So, okay. The Jester, both parts 1 and 2, take place on Halloween night. When groups of people reveling in the festivity come across a dapper gentleman with a jester's mask, some of their lives will be changed by the experience. That's all I want to say about how this goes. So, how did you feel about the application of this story to a short film?
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty laid out for it. Pretty, like,
mm-hmm.
The story's pretty simplistic. It's mostly like antics.
It is. Like it's
Jester,
capering.
Yeah, it's caper Jester antics.
Uh-huh.
How long were the movies? You remember?
I think they were both around 10 minutes, like maybe a little 10 to 12 minutes.
So it's kind of like it is a short film, but it's close to a sketch.
Right.
Just a little more of a sketch than a short film.
Yeah.
In a way. Which isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just... See, it's kind of the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of those movies, and where I feel like you could extend the Birch, this is one of those movies that I feel like if you tried to stretch this out to a feature length, it would be
sense.
Dull, it would be boring, it would be dry.
It would have to be episodic.
Yes, it would have to be episodic. It would have to be a collection and an anthology of shorts about these.
Which is where I was going with it. And the problem I had is that I feel like the first one and the second one are too similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Because like I'm saying, I don't remember watching the second one.
Right.
So I'd really like to see like kind of close to the same two things happen in the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I want to see like part 3, like, what does the Jester do like after this? Does he like go get Denny's? Does he need to go to the market, pick up, groceries? What's
candy?
What's his job? What's his financial situation like? What's his family life?
Job?
Yeah, what's his day job? I don't think gesturing pays too well. Those are some fancy clothes he was wearing.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll get to the clothes.
So that's what I'd like to see out of the series.
Okay.
It's not much of a review.
Yeah.
Of the movies or the short films,
mm-hmm.
but of the series.
Yeah.
That's my review.
Of your series. Yeah,
of the series.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I don't know what part of that to address. Definitely there were similarities between the two. I did feel like the second one did expand on the story, and maybe you didn't.
I told you I don't remember it.
I know,
so I don't know.
totally
I could
don't.
not have watched it.
You might not have, and I can't remember specifically. Usually, I'm pretty good at remembering what you've watched for some reason, and I don't know why. But,
You're great.
but I made another friend of mine watch this also, and he watched both of them, and he liked. Well, I mean, he liked them both, but he liked the first one considerably better. For some reason, I don't really know why. I can't remember. I only keep track of what you watch, sort of. But yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, like, again, part of the personal leanings that get in the way of me being objective about this film is that I absolutely adore, like, jesters and mimes and stuff like this, and this movie caters to that precise inclination. The Jester is filled with grand gesturing and illusions, and I am all about that. If it's not something that you would really find amusing, you probably won't appreciate these films as much as I did, but they're worth the, like, 10 minutes or whatever to me. And again, I'm, like, trauma bonded to this film, apparently, so. To me, this is an almost perfect watch for Halloween, so I'm really sorry that I didn't discover these earlier. I watched these, like, I don't know, this wasn't too long ago. This was a few months ago.
Where did you watch it on?
No, this was a month ago, because this is when I was quitting.
Yeah, right.
I watched it on YouTube.
Off of?
What do you mean?
Was there, what channel was it off of?
I don't know, I didn't put it.
All of them.
Yeah, I know it's a group, they've done other stuff. It's not all horror stuff. Maybe I get into it later in the review that I wrote. But the acting in these is better than I sort of expected, though the dialogue in the movies is not so much the focus of the films. This, again, is a good move for a short film, honestly, as sometimes it's hard to find exceptional casts in truly independent filmmaking. Whoever played the titular character, though, was incredibly talented with movement, and I was hooked onto him from the very first pose that he made in it. How did you like his,
No, that was all very good.
Okay. I have no idea whether it was...
Could you imagine him doing laundry?
Oh my god.
Huh? I want
I
want like a Seinfeld thing.
Snap to all of his movements
Yeah.
as he's folding his clothes.
I want like a Seinfeld thing.
Oh my god.
Going to get Chinese.
That's it. We're gonna go buy a suit.
Going to the movies. Come on.
It's really incredible.
It's off of the YouTube channel. Make Do Entertainment.
Make Do. Yes, Make Do Entertainment. I actually think I already added them on Twitter too, even though I haven't reviewed one of their films yet. Because I was so impressed with this. And I started the podcast right after this. So, it was right around the end of the year or something like that. Or the beginning, something, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the longer that I watched it, the more I noticed that, like, these little details that weren't quite right with the character, such as, like, the age of his suit or the discoloration of his gloves. I lean toward thinking it's intentional, as some of the initial shots of him are from farther away than the later ones, so it makes these details, like, really harder to see. Did you have that same thing happen to you, or did you notice those at all?
No, I didn't notice that at all.
See, I was hyper-focused on this movie. And so I just started, picking up on all of these little details that was like, uh-oh, what's wrong with this guy? So really, whether or not it's intentional, like, it made me feel that way, like, uh-oh, like, the longer it went on, which was cool. Mm-hmm. Personally, and Sam probably can't talk about this, because I don't think he can remember whether he saw it or not.
I'm very positive I didn't see it.
Okay. But I possibly liked the second one even more than the first one, particularly because I felt the lead in that acted how I would have under the circumstances, at least for a while. This one starts slower, I think, than the first one did, but I loved the ending so much that I didn't really care, and the payoff was fantastic. I assume the intention was that the second chapter be released around Halloween, and they somehow got delayed. Something that's really easy for filmmakers without 6 or 7 figures backing their films to do. So if that was the intention, I'm all the more excited for next Halloween, because I'll be hopefully be able to see another one. This really made me like an instant fan. It was so great, and it's so simple, and it's so low budget, and you don't need a budget. This is a movie, again, much like for another thing that's great about small films, or short films, is that if you don't have a budget and you cater your style, your story to that need, it works. Just like I was saying about Creep.
The Jester out there shopping for Halloween candy, planning his New Year's party.
New Year's party, there you go. There you go. What does he do around Christmas?
Can't wait.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. This was just really... These were phenomenal. I think I think all of the films that we've talked about today did an incredible job of using what they had to their advantage and knowing what people actually want out of short films. People who like short films, at least. By the way, do you happen to remember what the rating on IMDb was for The Birch? Because people kept saying that it was
7 something.
7 something?
7.2.
It's not high enough. That's pretty good though for a horror movie. I add
the ratings on here are crazy.
Yeah. I legitimately, when I'm doing IMDb scores for horror movies, I generally add 2 points because it's the only way to like be able to tell. Well, I didn't like this because it was a horror movie. It's that same thing as the short film.
Yeah, it's like you watch a horror movie.
Then don't watch horror movies.
I don't like horror movies. I'm rating this horror movie down.
Yeah. It's like, I don't like movies about Republicans, but, this is the world we live in, so... No, I'm just kidding.
I don't want to watch a movie about Republicans.
I don't either, but I wouldn't rate it poorly because it was about Republicans. I would rate it poorly if it was terrible. Anyway, people just aren't objective about, movie scoring, and I guess that's fine. Like, it's fine to not like something, but I would feel bad, like, presenting something as a negative when it's
part of what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't rate a horror movie low because it's a horror movie.
Exactly.
You just didn't want to watch a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But you did for some reason.
Right, yeah.
You should rate yourself down for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a big fan of people rating themselves down.
You do it every day. Meow meow beans, tell me all.
Meow meow.
Meow meow beans. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. These are all great. I suggest you check out all of these. Make Do Films is where you can find the Jester Chapters 1 and 2. You can find the Birch through Crypt TV, and I think it might also be posted on, or maybe just the trailer for it is posted on the Bloody Cuts page. Either way, you should definitely subscribe to their channels and check out their stuff. Make Do Entertainment, I think, might not... I don't think they exclusively do horror movies, which is why I may not have gone into it in my review.
They do comedy films and action films.
Films, okay. So yeah, I mean, but, if you like short films, or if you don't, and you want a reason to like short films, then maybe check out some of these, if you're a horror fan. Yeah.
And if you're not, it's kind of weird you're listening to this podcast.
It really is. I don't know why you would be listening to this.
But don't stop listening.
Don't stop listening.
All 3 of you.
All three of you. No, Grandma, keep listening.
Even if you don't like horror,
you should listen and buy. What is it, Carl's Jr.?
Carl's Jr. Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Because they pay me every time I say it, dumbass.
Yeah.
You're so smart. Why don't you know that? Oh God. All right. References within references.
The Jester.
Gestures, grand gestures.
Do I say gestures wrong? Do I say gestures funny? Jester.
The Jester's grand gestures. Gestures. Basically.
Can we be done with this now?
Yeah, we didn't who would you suggest this film for?
It's a short film if you like horror movies and antics.
There's
if you like antics, fucking watch it. If you're
even if you're not a horror fan and you like antics.
If you like antics, like any sort of like
capering and
illusions,
magic.
It's kind of like Three Stooges-esque short-ish.
Yeah, a little
with
slapsticky.
Horror.
Yeah.
Or like Charlie Chaplin or
it does feel a little
any of those physical comedians.
Yeah.
Not that this is funny, but
I mean,
it has
there are funny
a very
moments,
physical. It's a very physical thing.
Yeah.
That's who I'd recommend to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's 10 minutes. And the Birch also really, really good.
Yeah, just watch these.
Just watch them. Exactly. I
wasted all like 4 hours watching changelings.
The
changelings. The changelings who took away 4 hours of my life. Yeah, granted, the movie was only an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, 46 minutes, I think.
But it took away 4 to 5 hours of my life. Possibly days of my life force.
Shortened your life. Oh, man. Yeah, these are fantastic entries. If you like short films, or you want a reason to like short films, and you like capering, or you like awesome creatures that aren't a regular werewolf, or like...
that's very nice too, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a werewolf, it's not a friggin' ghost, it's not, anything like that. It is its own thing. It's something that you won't see somewhere else. And, it's incredible, and if they don't make another one, I might just cry.
Yo, there's a reaction video to people watching, the Jester.
What?
And everybody's wearing bandanas.
Why are they wearing bandanas?
And now we have to end the podcast so we can watch this reaction video on YouTube. Because that's our life now.
That's our life now. All right, well, thank you for listening to our ridiculous nonsense. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, rate, whatever it is on whatever site. The best way you can help us is to share our podcast with whomever you think would enjoy it, be it friends or coworkers or, weird, creepy people you find hanging out on, in your basement or something. You can also, if you're sharing it with somebody who does not have the same device as you, or if you did not like the platform on which you found it, you can go to YouTube, Player FM, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and pretty much any podcatcher. Oh yeah, Sam.
What?
What are your ratings for these? What are your ratings? Your rating scale for these movies? We didn't rate any of them, and we should rate all of them.
You know my rating system's bullshit, right?
I do.
I'll give every film we talked about tonight 5 short films out of 5 short films.
They're great. Yeah. I'm gonna give
I think that's the highest amount of short films I give a short film. Oh, and short film.
And short film. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna give. I don't always do these dumb arbitrary reviews, but
you insist I do them.
I do insist that you do them. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Jester parts 1 and 2. I'm gonna give them 17 piece of candies. Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, I get the reference.
Ooh, piece of candy.
You watch Family Guy. You're garbage.
No, I used to. I haven't watched it in like
elevated
in like 9 years or something.
Shut up.
And I'm gonna give the Birch also 8. I think I said 18. Also 18 awesome cryptids. That's what I'm gonna give it. Like really cool, awesome cryptids. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much for listening once again, and have a good night. Sam, say good night.
Good night.